guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Ride or die, 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 ride or die. Cody's brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta ride or die.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to At Home with Outset. My name is Tracey Amadi. This is the third and last program for At Home with Outset. And I have someone very special. There's two people that, or maybe not a person, but there's two people that I want to highlight today. One is my caregiver, which is Naomi Amadi. Naomi, come around and say hi to everybody. She was trained with me when I was training with she trained with me, and she's my caregiver. And then say hi.
Hi.
She's shy. This is her first time really being on the show. So I just wanted to introduce the world to her. She's been very, very helpful. Even though that I'm very dependent, she's very, very supportive. In the case of emergency, she knows what needs to be done. And we have to make room for Tammy. She's my best friend too. She's my ride and die. Without her, I wouldn't be able to live a fulfilled life. And I will be showing you in the last half hour of the segment, or 15 minutes, I'm going to show you how I set up. And you'll see everything up to the cannulation. So I'd like to know who's here, who would like to say hello. I want to thank you for supporting this show. Has been this is the third month, and I really, really appreciate it. I hope that you got a lot out of it. I just want to remind you, I have FSGS. It's a chronic kidney disease, and I had it since 2008. I was on dialysis for 5 years, my first bout. Then in 2013, I received a live kidney donor, but thanks to my son, he wasn't an exact match. So he donated to a woman, and her husband donated to me. The donated kidney lasted 7 years. And then because I had emergency surgery, May of 2020, that knocked out the remaining kidney function. And I ended up back on dialysis. I am on the waiting list. So that's my story. The second show was frequently asked questions. Now, the answers that I'm going to be giving you is based on my experience with Tableau. There are other options, home dialysis options that like PD, that's peritoneal dialysis. I really don't know anything about that, only but that it is that there's a catheter in your stomach. I did use next stage briefly and during my first bout of dialysis, but I strictly today, my response to the questions that I'm just going to go over briefly, because I want to have enough time to show you how I start my treatment with setting up and everything. So it's only based on my experience with Tableau. So Naomi is going to help me out, and she is going to ask me the questions because it's a lot easier. So then I could stay on track. And then if I start rambling, she'll give me the evil eye, and I know I can get back on track. Because I really want to display Tammy, and I will do this Vanna White style because I got all dressed up. I don't know if you see my beaded, my blouse, and I have palazzo pants. Thank you very much. So Naomi, what is the first question?
The first question is, how does home dialysis work?
Okay, home dialysis work. You first have to do training. The training, my experience was that I trained for 2 weeks. If I needed more because I didn't understand a section, or I think that I wasn't fully prepared, I could have lasted. I mean, I could have done it for additional weeks if I needed to. You do have to have a caregiver. And I want people to know there are options for home dialysis. It's PD, peritoneal dialysis. There's next stage and Tableau is what I'm going to be discussing today. The dialysis nurse, after training, they will schedule delivery of the machine and the supplies. It would get to the point for a couple of months, because of the fact that everything is new, he will or she will continue to order the supplies to come to your home. And then you get to the point where you will be able to order the supplies yourself. The caregiver is trained. The first week is just one-on-one, me and the dialysis nurse. And then the second week, the caregiver comes on and they get the same training, but it will be one-on-one. The only thing, my daughter is able to do everything, but not the cannulation. I love her, but I don't trust her. So, and then, and that's a great responsibility, and I didn't want to put that on her. So what's the second question, Naomi?
So the second question is, what are the schedules like?
The schedule is like, depending on what your prescription is with dialysis, with Tableau, it is the same amount of hours and days as if you were in center. So I do 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I do 4 hours. So you can you start having the freedom to get your life back. It may not be 100% because you might be dealing with other health issues, but you won't have the dialysis aftermath when you do dialysis at home, because it's a lot gentler on your body. You have the freedom, the flexibility. Say that you want to go on a date, your friends are going out to brunch, and it's your dialysis day. You can either do dialysis before the brunch or wait until you come back. If you do it in center, you won't have that flexibility. You would just have to wait until afterwards. You could still do it before or after in center, but because of the dialysis aftermath, you may not feel up to it. But with Tableau, you may get tired at times, but it's not as bad as in center.
Okay, so the third question. What if I'm interested in home hemodialysis?
Okay, so what you need to do is talk to your nephrologist, and when he can coordinate it with in-center. Since dialysis is new, not every center has it, but hopefully you may be able to you live close enough to go for the training at least. So you would need to get in contact with your nephrologist and determine the closest center that has Tablo.
Okay, the fourth question. What are the determining factors if you are a candidate for home hemodialysis?
Okay, not everyone is made to do dialysis at home. First, that you have to have a positive attitude. You have to be willing to learn, because of the fact that it is a lot of information that you need to learn and then understand. With Tableau, the one thing I like about Tableau, and you're going to see when I set it up, there's going to be tutorials for each step, and there's a pictorial, and it shows you exactly what needs to be done. So just maybe if you had a bad day or you're a little bit confused, you can always look at the picture. You can read each step one by one. You have to have at least a space for dialysis, for Tableau, and a chair and a place for your supplies. I'm going to show you how I set up my little room. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, and what I did, I used the dinette area, and I moved everything over. And this is where what you see now is my space for dialysis, and I call it the birthing room. And the reason why I call it the birthing room is that about 2 weeks before it was delivered, I started nesting, and I got rid of a lot of junk. I moved stuff around. I vacuumed, and it was just as if I was preparing for having a baby. So I guess, you know what, Tammy is my baby. So that's the reason why I call it a birthing room.
So the fifth question, what do you need?
What you need is a space for dialysis. A space for dialysis, and just an open area. You have to be organized. What else do you need? You need the supplies, and like I said, that the nurse and initially they will order it for you. And I can't wait to give you a tour so you could see, because a lot of people, I know the other system that is used, you need a lot of space for the supplies or monthly supplies. What you will see will be the supplies for about a month, and I fit it. It's organized. It doesn't look like a hospital room. It's quite cozy. Naomi, what other questions are there?
The fifth question, or the sixth question, what are some barriers that you encounter?
The barriers are needle anxiety, the travel time for training, because like I said, that since Tableau is new, it's a new kid on the block, that not every center has it. So you may have to travel a little bit further than you would like, but it's only for 2 or 3 weeks. And then with the needle anxiety, a lot of people choose the PD option because of the fact that they don't have to worry about cannulation. But once you get the hang of it, and to believe me, I was worried about that too. But since home dialysis patients use the buttonhole technique, and you go into the same site every single time instead of finding a new site, which is less pain and it doesn't hurt. And during the training, you will learn how to do that. I know somebody who hired someone to come in and to insert the needles, and to remove it, which I thought was a genius idea. So you just have to get over the fear inserting the needles. But if you look at the pros and cons, if you do dialysis at home with Tablo, that you will get your life back. Like I said in the previous shows, that I am a youth leader. I volunteer at my food the food bank at the food pantry at my church. I'm a sub director of community service. I work 20 hours. I started karate a couple of weeks ago, so I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was doing dialysis at home, because of the fact that it does wreak havoc on your body. And then when I was doing dialysis in center, like I lost my appetite. And I see you, Lisa. It gets about maybe 6 weeks, every 6 weeks. And if your space is really small, you can even arrange it for every 2 weeks. And like I said, that I am going to give a tour of my room, and it is doable. So about 6 weeks, Lisa. And Naomi, I think we have 1 or 2 more questions. Okay, she lost her place, but that's okay. And what are the risks? It's on the other side. What are the risks of doing dialysis at home? And to be honest, it's the same risk and concerns that you would have if you were doing it in center. That low blood pressure. During training, they will go over and over what will happen if your blood pressure drops, what you as a patient can do, and your caregiver. And they train that, they drill that in your head. And then also infection. If you can get infection on your fistula, especially with the buttonhole. It's very, very important that you clean and you remove the scab, because of the fact that you don't want the scab to enter your bloodstream, because it will cause infection. So not the infection, not so much, because of the fact that in center they don't use, to my knowledge, they do not use the buttonhole, but your fistula could get infected from other things. And then air embolism. That is if there's air that gets into the bloodline or in the cartridge. One thing about Tablo, if it does detect air in the system any type of way, it shuts down and it won't even allow you to return your blood. That's the reason why when you set up, you have to be very, very careful when they tell you to clamp, close the clamp. There's a reason why they tell you to close the clamp, because at this point air could enter. You just have to be very, very careful. So like I said, these concerns are the same as if you were in center. You have nurses around, but the training will prepare you and they will tell you what you need to do. And if you don't feel comfortable, keep on talking to your nurse. Have little notes maybe around just in case, because sometimes when things happen, you get nervous and you forget. But it's very, very easy. Well, Tablo will detect any type of issue, and if it gets to the point where there's blood clot or air, it will not allow you to return your blood. And also with needle separation, that if you properly tape the needle to both other sites and you don't do a lot of movement, you don't cover your the fistula during your treatment, because of the fact that you have to be careful. And believe it or not, when you would think that if it separates, you would feel the blood coming out, you really don't. And I know that's kind of gross, and I don't know how sensitive people are. But then too, that your caregiver can also keep an eye and make sure that the needles are securely in. So that is the questions that we went over last time. I give opportunity. Does anybody other than Lisa have any questions? Hi, Lorraine. How are you? That's my sister. Naomi, can you come and just tell a little bit about your training, your as a caregiver? She's coming around.
So, hi everyone. My name is Naomi Amadi. I'm 22 years old and I'm currently my mom's caregiver. So, the whole process, I remember pretty much I just went through a training with her nurse, John. We sat down for about a couple hours a day just to show me how the machine worked, to give me some knowledge about emergencies and what would happen if certain things happen to my mom while she's on dialysis, and what can I do as her caregiver to make sure that she's okay and that I can help her get through whatever obstacle comes about during her time on dialysis. So that was pretty much it. It was just really a bunch of just listening and reading and a lot of doing too. I also practiced a lot, just helping my mom, giving her bandages, simple things like that. I mean, my mom is pretty independent when she's on the machine. So luckily for me, I don't really have to do much, but really watch her and maybe like hand her some occasional tape or maybe push some fluids for her while she's on the machine. Really kicking down the kickstand when she can't get it herself, um, things of that nature. So it was a pretty easy and smooth experience for me.
Okay, thank you very much, and I really appreciate her time. Now it's going to be kind of awkward. I just want to give you guys, Naomi, I need you to come back. I want to give you a tour of my birthing room, and you're going to see that you don't need a lot of space. Because I had it, I spread things out. But believe me, if I had half the space, I will still be able to hold my supplies. So can you take this out? Sorry, guys. And just, can you scan the room a little bit? Can you? Okay, and then here is my makeshift closet. Can you see? You might want to do this, Naomi. You might be doing better than me. Sorry, guys. I just want to show you. This is my makeshift closet. It's a room divider. I squared it off. I used a, what is it? A curtain rod, purchased some curtains, and I was able to put in the supplies. I have this bag that I put extra stuff in. And I just got that. I was just being lazy. I could be a little bit neater. Then show them. I have two of these drawers where I put all like my syringes, my tape, my heparin, my needles. And then I have this stand where I put my bicarb and bicarb and acid. So I'm able to fit at least 2 weeks on here and then underneath. And sometimes you have to be creative. And can you show them? This is Tammy clothes. Okay, and here is this is where my my excess stuff that I need just in case. I'm always in arm's length of what I need. So just in case I need something in a hurry, even though Naomi might be in the other room, I could grab it myself. So, um, so yeah, this is my table. This is what I need, even though I don't need all these syringes, but you never know what may happen. Um, and this is what I do the setup. Everything behind here are the syringes and saline that I need. This is heparin, tape. So let's get started. Now, every time that you use tablet, you have to rinse just to make sure that all the dialysate is has been removed through the water system. Okay, and if my kitchen is right next door, so the line is gone from this room into underneath the sink. Okay, so I ran that already. So that takes about 15 minutes. Um, that took about 15 minutes. I did that to just to save time. So, so it says, hi, Tammy. Like I said, that I don't know. People, when I talk about her, people might think that she's a person, but she's not. But kind of, sort of, she is. So you get started. It verifies your birthday. And this is the confirmation of my prescription from the doctor. My first and last name, the weight. Don't look at the weight, people. What type of treatment? It's HD, hemodialysis, meaning blood. Is the treatment duration is 4, my blood flow rate. All of this stuff is prescribed by the doctor. Okay, so I just review it quickly just to make sure the dialyzer, and I can never say that, so don't make fun of me. Type, make sure that it when you get your supplies in, you want to verify it's the same filter um, that the doctor prescribed. Okay, so I say yes, and then it's asking me these fluids in the back, which is very essential to have when you do dialysis. They'll ask you, is it the correct concentrate? And the doctor will prescribe that. And so for me, it's I don't know what MEQ, but it's 3.0 for potassium and 2.5 calcium. This will vary from patient to patient. And when sometimes I set up at night so that all I have to do is, do the water, the rinse, so I don't have to be bothered. So I know already. So I'll zoom through this. Yes, it is 3.0. It is 2.5. Okay, and are both concentrate both concentrate jugs a gallon, and I'm going to say yes. And then you always look at the expiration date to make sure that the bicarb, which is blue, did it expire. I checked it already, so I will say yes. Oops, no, I meant to say no. I'm sorry. Has it expired? It has not expired, so it's going to be no. And so you see, I said yes, so it's telling me, well, if it's expired, I need to switch it out. Okay. Then you want to make sure that you can hear the alarm. So this is the test to make sure that you hear the alarm. It says touch the orange droplet to begin a sound test. You say yes. It's a pretty tiny noise. And it says, sounds good. Continue. I never had to worry that I didn't hear it. But if I didn't hear it and I would press that the black, I don't know if you really can't see it, but and the screen looks blue, but it's black, and it will probably show you steps to make sure to hook up your sound. Okay. Now what we're going to do is to get the dialysate, the fluids ready. So it says set the acid jugs behind the touch screen and unscrew the top. Okay, so excuse me. And I have, excuse me, guys, I have to put on gloves. So it's very important. Really, I should sanitize, put gloves on. could have took it out. Okay. Trying to rush. They're not coming on. Okay. So I take the straw, and these are all part of your supplies. And you put it in, puncture the hole. What I did this was the acid. Okay. So you set the acid jug, and you do it one at a time. It says remove the cap by pulling it straight up. That's what I did. Insert the flat end of a straw into the red cap, and you'll know that it's inserted because you hear a click. And push the straw into the acid, which I did. It's a little bit ahead of the game. The blue, which is bicarb, I unscrewed it. I did the same thing. Push the draw. See, this is the second step. All right. So now this is the debut of Tammy Tableau. I'm going to move the chair. This is what, Naomi, can you, hold on, I'm going to try to lift this up. Can you just hold it for a minute? This is what she looks inside. So I open, it says, open the front door and place the cartridge on the orange. This is the cartridge. And what you do, you just make sure that all the things are in its proper place, because if it's not, it's going to cause an alarm. So I just, just check and see, because there might be a lot of movement. You hear a click. I push the cartridge in the top and bottom green bar. You heard the click. And hang the cartridge. This is just your garbage bag and for your liquid. You put that, make sure that it's secure, because there's a lip under here. You push it to make sure. Then what is telling you to tighten these up, and this is very important, so you have no air going into the bloodline. This will prevent air embolism. This is very important. Simple step, but very important. Then you close the saline clamp and the infusions clamp. And again, it notes it by color. Close the yellow clamp on the saline line. So just in case you're confused, you don't know, lift it up. You don't know what the saline bag is. You might have a bad day. Yellow, okay? And then the infusion, I don't use this. This is, if you need an infusion of something. And then I close the orange clamp. And this again, pull the saline line off of the cartridge. This is the saline bag. I'm a lot neater, but I just don't want to have idling time. So you put it on, you hang it up, I'm having problems. That never happened either. So you have to be careful. Once you remove this, you don't want it to touch anything else but inside of the saline bag. You twist. Okay. So I pulled the saline line off of the cartridge, uncapped the saline. I did that. I spiked the bag and I hung it up. Continue. Now we're on the fourth step. Okay. Now this is the filter. It's called, I can never say it, guys. Dialysis. I know I didn't say it right, but it's the filter. This is what cleans your blood. It's very sensitive. If you drop it on like a hardwood floor, you probably did damage. So you might as well just go get another one. Okay, and it says grab the blue dialyzer bloodline and remove the cap. The blue is always the bottom. And if you got confused and put the wrong bloodline wrongly, it's going to tell you. It's going to tell you. This is your venous. I'm going a little bit ahead of the. So it says grab the blue dialyzer, blue line, and remove the cap. I did. Then twist. So I did that. I put both blood lines, I connected to the filter, and it tells you to repeat the step. Now I'm going to remove the connector, the red dialysate connector. You make sure that it's on correctly. And you got to make sure this is in right. One time I did it and there was blood all over the place. So you just got to take your time. We're on step 4. I repeat it. Now this is set up. I clipped it to the holder. Now it's time for me to open up the saline line. And what it's going to do is going to go through the system and prime it. So open the yellow clamp. Begin prime. This is my weight. I weighed myself earlier. You guys close your eyes so you don't see how much I weigh. It's in kilos. I have to take my temperature, 97.1. Do my my pre-dialysis BP. Okay, we don't have that much time, but it's just going to be just enough for you because you can see up until right before I cannulate. This is sitting BP. Oh, come on. And for the sake of time, it's not necessary for me to do the standing one, so I'm not going to do it because I want you guys to see it up into cannulation. It's okay. My daughter's shaking her head. Almost done.
I'm fine.
It's almost done sometimes. Sorry, guys, it's taking longer than normal. Probably my blood pressure is probably off the roof because my adrenaline has kicked in. Usually it doesn't take this long to register. And if it doesn't, you might not be able to see the other steps, because then preceding this is that I have to do 2 water tests for pH and chloramine. And again, they train you. They give you this testing strip. Yeah. Okay. So, and then after that, I will, I don't know if you can see that the saline is going through the whole system. This is the air chamber, and it will capture any of the air bubbles. So it's almost, my time is almost ending. I'm just going to see if I could just do it. Just going to try to relax. And like I said, that usually this doesn't take as long, but I just think that blood pressure is doing something funky right now because of my adrenaline. So. Okay, this is an alarm, and it's saying check concentrate formula. So it is 3.0, 2 point. And did the concentrate, is the bicarbonate concentrate expired? No, it did not. I don't know why it did that, but and only reason why I didn't get up and check, because I checked before I put it on, because if I saw that it expired, I would never use the solution. So I don't know if that kicked in because of the fact that I accidentally said yes, that it expired, and it wanted to double check to make sure that I was using the right acid and bicarb. So Tableau, very smart, and is very trustworthy. Okay, for whatever reason, my blood pressure is not registering, but I thank you very much. Maybe there will be another time where you could see me do the whole, my whole setup. But as you can see, you see that probably because of the lighting and everything, that there were tutorials, what I was reading you, and it would tell you step by step what you need to do, and there were pictures as well. So if you get combobulated, you will know exactly what you should be doing at that particular time. That's the reason why I love Tableau. That's the reason why I love Tammy. If anyone has any questions after the show, please feel free to contact me at Amadi, Tracey at Gmail. I would love to answer any of your questions. And it has been a pleasure of hosting At Home with Outset. And I hope that there will be many more shows to come. So I bid all of you a good night. Those of you who are considering the different options, you know, I love Tableau, but maybe Tableau is not for you, but know your options so that you could get back and fulfilling your life dreams, because of the fact that just because you're on dialysis does not mean that your life is going to stop, that you can live a fulfilled life doing dialysis at home. So I wish everyone well. And again, that if you have any questions, perhaps maybe seeing how I'm doing, how I'm faring with dialysis, any questions about Tableau. I did have a transplant, so I might be able to help you with your process, especially with living organ donor. You could contact me at amaditracy@gmail.com. So I wish everyone a good night. Thank you. Long ago,
Now I gotta ride or die.